Hey guys, it's Joe. I'm back here in my workshop, as you can see. I haven't filmed a video in here probably, I don't know, since the winter time. It's been a while, I think. That's because it's been so nice out. Well, today it is hot and muggy. So I decided to come in here to cool off. And while I was in here, I thought, well, why don't I show you another piece from our Knight Rider collection, something that was used on the set that I think you'll enjoy. So what I'm going to show you today is this. Now, this probably just looks like an ordinary Knight Rider script. And in a way it is, but it's also very special because of who owned it. This script is for the episode Deja Vu. Now, many of you probably don't remember an episode called Deja Vu, but this is actually an early working title for the second season episode, Goliath Returns, which just happens to be my absolute favorite episode of the series. Now, this script was used on the set, and it was actually the personal set use script for Peter Mark Richman. Now, Peter Mark Richman, he unfortunately just passed away January 14th of this year, 2021, but he played Dr. Klaus Bergstrom in the episode. He had a very big role. He was the center of the storyline, actually. This was his personal script that we picked up a number of years ago. And as you know, Peter Mark Richman also appeared in the fourth season episode Many Happy Returns as Kleist. But this was his first appearance in the series, and this script is neat because he annotated it with all kinds of interesting notes that kind of get you into his mind, like what he was thinking, you know, almost 40 years ago whenever he was trying to get into the role of Klaus Bergstrom. So I thought, in honor of Peter Mark Richman, since he recently passed, and in honor of the fact that I just love this episode, I thought we could kind of take a look and go through the script together. Not necessarily page by page, but we'll go through his notes and kind of decode what he was writing and how it relates to the finished episode. So, and by the way, for any of you asking, because I'm sure it's going to be in the comments of this video, no, we have not found Goliath yet. We are looking. That's all we can do. We don't have the VIN of the truck. We don't really have much information about Goliath. So if you have any information about where Goliath is or what happened to it after the series, and there's one particular person I'm talking to who I recently saw who swears he watches every one of these videos, who might have some information about Goliath. If you do, send me an email, mysterious person I will not name. But otherwise, let's go through this script and see what we can find. Before we do this, do me a favor. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And please like this video and share it if you like it. Or just share our channel. We certainly appreciate it. For those of you interested, we also have a Patreon channel where you can support us on Patreon. We have some exclusive videos on that Patreon site where they're videos that you can't find anywhere else, that will never be released to the public. You can find them there. We recently uploaded hundreds and hundreds of hours of footage that we've taken over the last decades that we're getting ready to slowly release onto our Patreon channel exclusively for supporters. So you do not want to miss it. Check out the link below to our Patreon channel. We appreciate your support. And with all that said, this is Knight Rider Historians, and let's get to the script. Okay, let's take a look here. So we'll start on the cover here. So we can see this is an original script. You can tell original scripts usually because of the multicolored pages here. So these represent all the different revisions of the episode as it was going through the writing process and even through the filming. They would constantly swap out pages, and each color page represents a different type of revision. So instantly when we look at this, we can see it's original. Now, we have a bunch of notes here from Peter Mark Richmond. He wrote Used on Knight Rider here. And this was interesting. He wrote number 1, bronze, something we can't read there, and number 2, dark bronze tone. So for the role of Klaus Bergstrom, Peter Mark Richmond actually tanned his skin to make it just a little bit darker. I don't know if maybe that's because they were filming in Southern California and he was more fair-skinned or whatnot, but these are the products he used to self-tan himself before filming. And specifically right here, we've got Tuttle Bronze Tone BT6, and that's the product he used. Now we look over here and we have, looks like he wrote UI Barry-wardrobe. This is Barry Downing. He was the wardrobe, he did wardrobe on Knight Rider. And then we come over here and we've got Jeremy MU Makeups. This is Jeremy Swan. And we have John Penner Cam, which is H. John Penner, camera operator. We have Rick Colby, which was the director. And then the first assistant director, probably Bob Villar, I'd have to look. And second assistant director, Bruce Humphrey, I think. I'm just going by memory here. So we turn the page, and we've got a couple additional pieces to this script that aren't, you know, the text that needs to be spoken. We have this one-line shooting schedule, which is really kind of cool. And I'm trying to see what he wrote here. Some of his notes are a little hard to read, but Mike Ferrara was camera. This is probably Alan Payne, hairstylist. I'm not sure what that says right there. But what's neat about this is it actually breaks down per day. So their filming days and where they're going to be. So we've got on January 4th of '84, they're filming in Pico Canyon. These are the vehicles that they need there. These are the scenes that they're going to be filming. And then it continues. And check this out. This is kind of cool. Edward Mulhare. 60, I think that's 6045 Sunny Slope, Van Nuys. This was where Edward actually lived when Knight Rider was filming. 60, I think it's either 6015 or 6045 Sunny Slope Avenue in Van Nuys. And then his phone number, 787-1370. So that's really, really cool in and of itself that Peter Mark wrote that in there. But, you know, then we've got a number of pages here of just the shooting schedule. Let's just kind of go through these. But it's really cool because you can see here Shadow Hills Ranch, where they filmed Adrian's and Garth's hideout, Shadow Hills Ranch. It's now called Saddle Rock Ranch, but unfortunately this burned down just a couple years ago. They had a big fire, wildfire out there, and unfortunately this mansion burned down. But you can see here Tram Garage, so all the scenes where Kit is hung up like a side of beef and they want to transfer him into Goliath. That was all filmed at the Universal Studios Tram Garage, where they do the maintenance on the trams for the theme park. So we keep going through here, and then the Lorena Hotel, which is, I think it's now the Gateway Sheraton, but it's the same hotel we saw in the pilot, and Topaz Connection was used a number of episodes. So it was used again here. So you can see we've got all these pages of shooting schedules, which is really kind of cool. And then we get up here, and then we've got the Foundation in Pasadena, which is 1145 Arden Road. This is Arden Villa. So they filmed there Friday, January 13th, 1984. And then the cell where Devin and April and Klaus were being held was actually on stage 3 at Universal. And they had a bomb blast effect. So, and you can see here, Peter Mark underlined any instance where his character was involved, which is kind of cool. And see, he put on this day, he's off, so he wasn't needed that day. And then wasn't needed this day. And then there he is here in the mansion corridors, which are then over on stage 25. You'd think they'd be right there on stage 3, but they weren't. So anyways, so let's keep going. Let's see if there's any more notes. So this is an interesting page. Take a look at this. So as you remember, Klaus in the episode he was supposed to be Swedish. So as such, he had a little bit of an accent. Well, Peter Mark Richmond was not Swedish. So he had to act the accent. And he did that by writing out a lot of these common words and how he would pronounce them if he were Swedish. So happy, he put hepe, I think, bad or bet, thirst, turst, word, vert, bird, bert, friend, front, get, gat, and then Z's are S's, R is rolled slightly, S more slang and sibilant. I can't tell what that is. Doctor is doctor, whatever. So I always thought that page was really neat. That the thought that went into just his accent. So here we can see the sets, all the different sets they would need, and the vehicles that they would need. And this is a different revision. You can see there's some copies of the cover page because they're different revisions. But we go through here, and I don't think Klaus is... Yeah, here we go. So Klaus doesn't appear until right about here. You could see that Peter Mark did some underlining here. And then we move over to this side, and here's his first spoken words. And it's hard to see what he wrote. That simple, the kind most travel agents wouldn't think of recommending. And he suggested that simple, the kind that a travel agent wouldn't think of recommending. So he ad-libbed a little and changed it right there. Let's see what else we have in here. Some more Klaus. And see here, good night, Kit. Perhaps a fast game of chess before I leave. But he wrote he wants to pronounce it fest. Perhaps a fest game of chess before we leave. What else do we have in here? So he didn't have many scenes in here. Let's keep going. I feel like I owe it to you guys to show you all the pages in here that he was involved with. So a lot of them he just circled, as you can see, or put lines through. Perhaps whenever his day was done, whenever that day was filmed, he might have just slashed it. Or, yeah, I think he would have, because these are scenes that they weren't cut scenes, so those were filmed. So he probably just slashed through them once that scene was wrapped. So here we have, notice this. So right here, Klaus writes ankle sprain. So this is a reminder to Peter Mark that he now has to act with a sprained ankle. In addition to his Swedish accent, he now has an ankle sprain. So that was his reminder there, which I thought was really cool. And then here, what's wrong, he changed to what is wrong, and there is instead of there's, and what else do we have here? And right here, Christina, how is he supposed to miss you if you never go away? And he suggested if you are always here instead of never go away, but they didn't, I don't think they changed that in the final filming. And here, look at this. He put first scene as K2, meaning this is his first scene. Now he has to play the evil Klaus clone. So this is his first scene as K2, meaning Klaus clone. And it's marked as Klaus number 2, which I think was kind of funny. What else? What else do we have in here? And right here, this is the scene where they're talking about the thing I'm going to miss the most when I get back to Sweden is football. And remember, this is the evil Klaus. Well, Peter Mark says, well, how does he know Klaus number 1 liked football? Did he? Did he know that? And so he was questioning, you know, he was not just saying the words on here, but he was actually thinking it through and questioning, well, does this make sense or does this need changed? Obviously, it didn't get changed, so it must have made sense to someone, but the thought process did go through his head, which was kind of neat. Right here, he makes a note that now Christina is suspected, or he is suspected by, he put suspected by her, meaning Klaus is suspected by Christina at this point of being an imposter. What else do we have in here? Any other gems? This is obviously a 2-hour script, so it's a bit longer. Normally a 1-hour script would end around page 55, but we still got a long way to go here. Some more just notes, a star here, nothing. Oh, and this is his speech when he was talking about making dough out of clothing. He just put, instead of saying they used electricity to detonate it, he wrote, and then they used electricity. Just little things that he thought needed tweaked on the script. Nothing major there. Oh, and this is interesting. He wrote no dialect, meaning this is the point where he ends, the evil Klaus clone ends his charade with Christina. And you'll notice that this scene, he doesn't have his Swedish accent anymore. And this is Peter marking it as no dialect, meaning now you talk without your Swedish accent, which was kind of neat. So we're moving into Act 6 of the episode. Let's see what we got here. I don't think he was in it much there until he gets rescued from the back of Goliath by Michael. So there's these pages are all unmarked. And here it's originally thanks, but I've already made arrangements. He changed it to thank you. So if you notice in the episode, he doesn't use contractions very much or shorthand. And that was part of Peter Mark's interpretation of the character, that it was always there is instead of theirs, or thank you instead of thanks. Let's see, Act 7. What do we have in here? Anything good? I know I said I wasn't going to go through any page, but I just have to, right? We got to show you all these goodies in here. So just some more marks there. Come on, we're nearing the end. I know Klaus he's in the final act here. How thoughtful, a police escort. You remind me of my mother. Let's see here. Nothing. We're getting near the end here. So this is, I think so, can you walk? I think so, yes. This is when Michael's rescuing him from the back of Goliath. And then we turn here, and we just have some marks. This is just action scenes there. And this is where Michael says, hold on, doctor, this could be tricky. And Klaus, he wrote in here, Klaus, yes, what do you have in mind? But I don't think he actually spoke that in the episode. Who was that madman? And we're nearing the end here. What else do we have? So right here, but compared to the last several days, laser technology is a bore. And he changed it to is very boring, which did make it into the episode. They did change it to that. So, and then that's the end. So, I mean, that's, you know, this is a really cool peek into the mind of Peter Mark Richmond when he was filming Goliath Returns. So unfortunately, we did speak with him, gosh, it was way back in 2002 or 2003. Unfortunately, he didn't have a ton of memories of his time working on the show. So to be able to have this script and see what he was thinking at the time is just absolutely invaluable. All right, guys, well, that's it. Let me know if you like this kind of content. We have a couple other scripts similar to this that were set used. Let us know if you want us to go through these, and maybe we will in a future episode. All right, as always, I appreciate you watching. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.
And now, while we listen to Joe's selection of Knight Rider music that we received directly from Don Peake himself, we'd like to thank these Patreon supporters. Look at you guys scrolling up the screen to my right. Wait a minute, how can you tell which side is my right since you can't see me because I'm not on camera? Oh well, you know what I mean. We're featuring these fine supporters at our Knight Rider Prop Restorer level. Thank you very much for your support. And for those of you at the Knight Rider History Hunter level, we're recognizing you right now in the description. Now, if you enjoyed seeing this golden nugget of Knight Rider history being rescued from obscurity, then please consider supporting us on Patreon. Your support would empower us to bring you even more of these historical nuggets. We are the Knight Rider Historians. Till next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.